In some ways, this QRP is actually sort of a double whammy. It is cherry picking, which is, in general is not a good idea. In general, cherry picking is when you are selectively choosing certain pieces of data that make your claim valid while ignoring other pieces of evidence. This is sort of similar to confirmation bias, though it's often a lot more agentive in nature, right? Because you're purposely selecting certain things. So you're picking certain variables out and ignoring other variables on purpose. And so typically you want to avoid cherry picking in general, and you definitely want to avoid cherry picking to appease somebody else, some other stakeholder. Again, this questionable research practice is about trying to appease a funder, but that's not that different than trying to appease a chair or a reviewer or anybody else who would be trying to evaluate you. And so in general, you want to try to avoid situations in which you don't have principled reasons for why you'd want to only include a subset of data or exclude data in general. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to include all the data that you collected. Sometimes you collect bad data, or sometimes your interest in a certain analysis is in a subset of the data overall. But you don't want to just only look at people who, or just only include data from people when it supports your research findings, and then ignore data that doesn't, right? Because why even do data analysis? Just make up whatever claim you want to make up. So in general, you want to avoid cherry picking to whatever level you can, and you definitely don't want to do this sort of thing just to appease a funder. Hopefully, if you have a good funder or working for a good organization, they'll be happy finding out the truth, so they can make whatever product or whatever thing they're doing better overall.